all the technologies that we have benefited from was produced in the country. And I really want to commend your defense chair, Captain Elvis, for the hard work that he did. And I implore him to continue reaching out to other defense chairs of other countries and LGS to really implement what was not implemented last year. Everyone here would agree with me that when the Republic of Cameroon terrorist troops come into our territory, the one thing that scares them the most is the technology that we have developed. They are not afraid of AK-47s. Why? Because they carry more AK-47s than us sometimes. However, when they walk into our territory, especially Bui County, they are even afraid of the grass because they know at any time, at any moment, something might actually hit them hard. That is a strategy that works. Imagine this. If all the LGS of Ambazonia had implemented our national security plan, we will not be here today. We will be in Ambazonia. So I want to take this opportunity to thank the county for implementing that plan, and to also implore every LG and county to make sure you build your workshops and bring help to La Republic. We will not win this war just by shooting with AK-47. We will win this war when they don't know where we are coming and they don't know when they are hit. Let's build those workshops. Let's make sure that La Republic du Cameroon, either they themselves, the terrorist troops, or their armored cars, have no place in Ambazonia. Let's make our territory ungovernable. Let's make we county strong. Like I said, Mr. Chairman, I will always stand with we county. Over the course of the years, I have stood with you, and I will continue to do so. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for those kind words, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the President of Ambazonia, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako. Paddy, please, could you please usher in the President with the anthem? Thank you.
Fellow Ambazonians, let me begin by acknowledging my friend and brother, the Vice President of Ambazonia, Mr. Eric Ate, the Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, Dr. Winnie Lobati, the Chairlady Ethics Committee, Madame Dorotingwa, the Chairman of the Judicial Council, Barrister Timothy Mbesa, and my very special presidential entourage here with me. The following trusted associates of mine in the interim government from the great county of Bui. My very distinguished Chief of Staff, Dr. Yaya Fonye. My friend and patriot, Shey Yimbo, County Coordinator of Bui County. The Chairman of the Ambazonia National Self-Defense Council, Commander Elvis Kofi. The Honorable Therese Yenla, Representative Bui County, and all executives of Bui County. Let me start this way. A few days ago, the Queen of England, the head of the United Nations trustee or trust administration that presided over our continued enslavement under the French hegemony and La République du Cameroon's stranglehold, died. Except for the Victoria colony that ended with the German takeover, it should be recalled that we were never colonized by Great Britain. Yes, Alfred Sako established the Ambas Bay Protectorate, which he christened Victoria Colony in 1884. It was by way of a treaty. We were not a crown colony of Britain. However, our honeymoon with the English lasted just for 4 years. The Germans took over in 1887 and established the German Protectorate of Cameroon. Ambazonia thus became part of that German colony in 1916 until 1916, after Germany lost the First World War. We were made a League of Nations protectorate by the victors of the First World War. And when the League of Nations was changed into the United Nations Organization, Ambazonia, or the Ambas Bay Zone, was named the Trust Territory of Cameroons under British administration, not a British colony. Unfortunately, our Trust Administrator, Britain, under the leadership of Queen Elizabeth, treated the Southern Cameroons as one of her crown colonies. She administers us jointly with Nigeria, a crown colony, and failed to fulfill her UN prescribed mandate, which was to prepare the people of Southern Cameroons for independence or self-governance. Instead, Britain entered into an unholy transaction with France, handing us over to the French vassal state of Cameroon as a little friendly gift to the French to be recolonized. Hence, French Cameroon became our new colonial master. Our right to independence or self-government was buried through a conspiracy of silence and denial. We have cried to Britain since the morning after 1st October 1961 to come to our rescue, to correct the mistake, complete their assignment prescribed by the United Nations, or take our concerns back to the United Nations, to no avail. Unfortunately, the architect who knew the roots of our problem chose to go mute, abandoning the people of the former British Southern Cameroons like sheep to the wolves. For 5 years, Queen Elizabeth never made a single statement condemning the ongoing genocide on our innocent people by French Cameroon. We condole with the people of the United Kingdom for their immense loss, but as Ambazonians, we do not miss her a bit. We cannot miss a monarch who preferred to go to her grave with the keys of our freedom in her hand. Our hope now resides not in the hypocritical eulogies of some, but in the actions of those who are still alive, like King Charles III. to intentionally use the keys now at his disposal to help the people of the former British Southern Cameroons, so we don't all die because of a botched decolonization process and lack of a political will to correct a mistake that could be corrected without bloodshed. Fellow Ambazonians, let me begin by reiterating our official stance on school resumption, a position that was adequately publicized following a press statement from the Secretary of State for Education and Strategic Collaboration. Nobody can claim to want the education of our kids more than us, we the Ambazonian parents. Therefore, it is ludicrous for anyone to claim to love our kids or value their education more than us. Remember, part of the reason the enemy declared war on us is because we protested the half-baked French adulterated education that they were forcing our people and students to get. Presently, we are at war. The security of the territory, our territory, is not convenient for any meaningful educational activity to take place. Enemy tanks are plying our territory. Their bullets are flying in our streets as our people are incessantly being targeted and murdered. We have cautioned the parents of school children to assess the safety situation before sending their children to school. Worse still, the enemy is using this situation to prop up militia groups that pose as ARFs and kidnap or attack innocent teachers and students, just to make sure that they sell their false narrative to the outside world, especially the UN, that our forces are the ones committing these atrocities. The IG will not be part of this yearly education drama. This is becoming a recurrent antic in September, every year when the UN General Assembly is to meet. The recent attack on civilian vehicles in Moyoka and Kumba, killing innocent civilians, is one of those orchestrated atrocities perpetrated by disguised talks of La République du Cameroun to manipulate international opinion. On behalf of the interim government and the people of Ambazonia, I extend my heartfelt condolences to the families affected by this devilish act. Once more, we reiterate our call on the UN and its subsidiary UNESCO to step up their role to facilitate the creation of a safe environment for children to attend school in the territory of Ambazonia, as is expected in places with armed conflicts. My dear people of the great county of Bui, fellow compatriots, once more we are gathered tonight to show our commitment to this liberation cause as we continue supporting our self-defense forces on the home front. We are on the hotbed of this liberation war, the land of the ancient warriors of So and their present-day descendants of the ARFs, who have been who have given the genocidal talks of La République, the enemy, sleepless nights and sent thousands packed in body bags to where they came from. We are in the land of heroes. We are in the birthplace of FM Chacha and FM Isubu, who showed mastery in innovative warcraft by degrading enemy targets and capabilities as they fulfill their patriotic duty of protecting our vulnerable people and defending the territorial integrity of our country. They were invisible to the enemy, but unfortunately fell by the betrayal of their own brothers, turned traitors. Today, we are here to honor them and many others, great fighters who showed up when duty called to defend our homeland and fell in honor on the front line. We are here to tell them that their bravery was not in vain. We are here today to tell them that we are still fully committed to the cause they laid their lives for, the complete liberation of our homeland, by supporting the Ambazonia restoration forces they left behind, still engaging the barbaric forces of La Republique in the battlefront. If you honor a man, support his cause. Let us now observe a moment of silence in honor of these great brave ones who gave their all in fighting the good fight, so that one day Ambazonia will be a completely liberated land, not forgetting the hundreds of thousands of innocent lives that have been cut short by dictator Paul Biya's genocide on our people. A minute, please. My dear ARFs of Bui County, our no-nonsense Bui warriors, some of the attacks you have suffered recently are not natural. You are infiltrated. Some of the people talking to you, fighting amongst you, supporting you or advising you from prison or abroad are either confused, manipulated, ignorant, or corrupt by the enemy. The fact that they are Ambazonians does not cancel the fact. Be very careful as we engage this final leg of our march to Buea. Some are confused. Why do I say so? Because they don't know where we started, where we are now, or where we are going to. Some are manipulated because they are acting under the influence of someone or something else to do the evil they are doing. Some have been corrupted because their appetite for money, fame, or power exceeds their appetite for freedom. As a result, some of you fighters are no longer guided by revolutionary wisdom. That is why you take delight in targeting each other instead of the enemy at your doorstep. Some of you have believed those who told you your enemy is now your brother who is with the interim government, not La Republique. Major General Tokando, General Viper, General Maddock, today, Saturday the 10th, more than 200 La Republique soldiers ambushed your positions on many fronts. Did they ask who is with the IG or who is not before they attacked you? The IG is the tent. We are here to cover everybody fighting the enemy and not his brothers. No wise farmer dismantles his tent in the middle of the rainy season when he has not yet roofed his house. The IG is the #1 enemy of La Republique. Why? Because the IG evokes the issue of two states of equal status, which La Republique du Cameroon dreads in all her arguments. With the IG, our struggle is one of recognition. We are not fighting for independence again. Not certainly for a federation or some internal fixes within a one Cameroon republic. La Republique du Cameroon wants the IG to be removed from this equation at all costs. So those amongst us who also want the IG removed agree with La Republique in principle. If two people agree that the IG or Dr. Sako is their common enemy, what does that make them? Friends or foes? Dear ARFs and the diaspora, this fight has never been a competition between us. Our relationship has been one of complementation. You in the home front did not choose us, and we did not choose you. Destiny did. But make no mistake, we need each other. Wars are fought in the trenches, but resolved on tables far away from the theaters of battle by credible interlocutors. ARFs, you cannot do without the diaspora. The diaspora too cannot do without you. Baby Ambazonia needs both of us to be born. The struggle is not about who calls ghost towns and lockdowns in the home front, because even a single active sniper can shut down a city. It is not about who is more powerful. It's not about who has sacrificed more than the other. Listen, ARFs, it is not yet time to share, because there is nothing to share. Let's get to Buea first. If you don't want to fight forever, pledge loyalty to this IG as the authority that represents Ambazonia in diplomatic circles. That is not doing a favor to Dr. Sako or your county or your local government leaders. The international community has already recognized the leadership role of this IG by their position and support for the Swiss-led process. If you in the home front reject the IG, will the US, UN, EU, and La Republique come to meet you in Kikaikom, Babalang, Mato, or Umojok? No. They will agree with La Republique that there is nobody to talk to. They will treat you as non-political armed groups, or better still, terrorists. People will address you the way you are dressed. A body without a head is addressed as a corpse. A body with multiple heads will be addressed as a monster. But a body with one head will be addressed as a normal living creature that men can interact with. People don't consult with monsters, they kill them. They don't interact with corpses, they bury them. If we make the international community to perceive this struggle or the leadership as a monster, UARFs will have to fight on for decades with no solution. It is our political arguments that make the arms you are carrying legitimate. And who makes the political argument for the restoration of Ambazonia better than this IG? It is the IG that buttresses our argument that we were two states of equal status in 1961. The IG represents the government of Joa that was dissolved by La Republique after annexation. Restoration only has meaning in our struggle because there was annexation. And annexation only means a thing because we were two states of equal status. Dear ARFs, when the IG calls ghost towns, we never called for the compliance of our population by killing those we term violators. We did not kill to enforce ghost towns or lockdowns. Remember that the ghost towns and the lockdowns were instituted by the people, not the ARFs. It is the people's weapon. The IG only gives Ambazonians reasons to engage this weapon, and they engage it willingly in solidarity. Beware of those who can only get compliance from you through the use of brute force. How are they different from the oppressor? Can the ARFs alone without the people win La Republique? La Republique du Cameroon, with all their military might and their use of barbaric force on our population, has not been able to cause us to surrender to their slavery. How should some so-called fighter think that the Ambazonian people will be loyal to them through cruel treatment? This revolution was launched by the people, and we all opted to fight with and for our people, not against our people. We do not kill violators. We fire warning shots. We make arrests. We collect fines. That is why I know that the monstrous killing of our innocent people in Kumba and Buea was actually a dirty job by colonial La Republique proxies to mischaracterize and discredit the Ambazonian struggle before the international community. Shame on any fighter who is being used by La République du Cameroon strategists to kill our own people because of ghost town or lockdown. The multiple attempts in the diaspora, on the ground and in prisons to unseat the interim government under my watch are not new. We have been fighting with these forces, against these forces, since we got here. That is La République du Cameroon's modus operandi since the days of the founding of our struggle. What do? La République creates phonies, buys insiders to break the original opposition into factions, then picks and chooses the faction to validate or work with. They do this to be able to smartly substitute the true opposition they dread on the table of negotiation. That is how they have historically torpedoed the agenda of our movement since 1961. Many who are positioning themselves today as parallel IG structures in the diaspora or on the home front are consciously or unconsciously regime proxies. Give them any modicum of authority, they will cash out on this struggle, deliver you to the enemy, then disappear mysteriously like Oliver Lekiaka. One of such leaders you all now know is called Mr. I Brought the Deal. I can assure you he has many other deals in his drawer than meets the eye. Let me tell you a parable. A monkey is a great security guard. He warns other animals whenever he perceives danger. But if a monkey is looking for a job, don't hire him to guard your banana plantation. That will be a mistake of catastrophic proportion. My dear ARFs and the people of Bui, thank you for your bravery and commitment amidst the chaos being perpetrated by these pay-for-play individuals in Bui County. You have stood your ground and you are doing the right thing despite the complex situation of your county. As I told you when I visited your county earlier this year during my county visits, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces is our united force all across Ambazonia. Therefore, you should be wary and shun any form of manipulation in the name of unity that ultimately convinces you to lower your guard and become vulnerable to the enemy within. Think of the number of comrades in arms you have lost since this idea of blanket unity surfaced. Since this phenomenon was launched in your county at the beginning of this year, the number of killings from betrayers has skyrocketed. We have lost some of our brave ones, not by the barrels of our enemies' gun, but by the kisses of their so-called brethren. I have advised you to be smart and pay allegiance to your county under the able leadership of Chairman Sheyimbo, as well as adhere to the instructions and counsel of the institutions of this interim government of Ambazonia. As your CIC, I know your challenges and some of the dilemmas some of you are going through in the present context of the county. One thing I know you are committed to is your resolve to constantly create hell for the enemy in your county. That you have shown in the past years, earning your county the nickname the Baghdad of Ambazonia, signifying a very, very hot spot for action. The enemy knows it. The enemy knows it cannot withstand your courage and tenacity. Getting to 6 years now, you have fought hard and pushed the cowardly forces of La République du Cameroon to resort to civilian killings, exacerbating the genocide. Running out of options, I hear they are now rebranding their ill-trained, chicken-hearted scouts as special forces. What a joke. They are special in what? In what ways? So all these 5 years, when you thwarted their strategies with extraordinary prowess and countered their cowardly operations, they had some special forces reserved somewhere and chose to hide them, only to burn our more than 500 villages and execute our innocent civilian population. Where are the Red Berets of Kutaba? Where are the Garde Presidentielle? Where are the GTAP? Where are the almighty elite B today? Noise. Great sons and daughters of Bui County, you know the place of your forebears as far as this liberation struggle is concerned. The smart and proud people of Saw, they do not shy away from war when it comes to their doorsteps. The earlier tremors of our liberation struggle, including a shift to the argument of force, were felt in parts of Bui in the first half of the 90s. At that point, some of your forebears with wisdom were realizing that no erudite arguments your renowned son and intellectually gifted statesman, Professor Bernard Fallon, had put forward before he bowed out of the stage could deviate the wrecking train called La République du Cameroon and its French colonial handlers. Here we are today, correctly reiterating our argument, not only with our pens, but with our barrels too. We do this not because we are warmongers, but because all peaceful options for 60 years have been exhausted, and the enemy has resolved to annihilating instead of a political solution. And we have a duty to fight back or stop them from annihilating us. Let's not shy away from doing the right thing, supporting our ARFs, who are putting their lives on the line for our freedom and the freedom of generations to come. This is non-religious, non-tribal, and non-partisan. It is a patriotic assignment. One thing I have come to learn about the great people of Builand is that you are not cowards. And when you set your minds to achieving an objective, you do so with endurance and pride. However, unity may be your biggest problem. You have too many good chefs in the kitchen. It is not easy to find consensus for who should be king in a city or colony of kings. I appeal to the people of Bui County, especially those in the diaspora, to forget all trivial arguments and look at the big picture. Join your enduring people on the home front who are already going through challenging and difficult times caused by the senseless war declared on us by La République. The enemy will not stop killing them because you disagree with me. The draft you draft today is going to the ARFs, not to any individual in this gathering you see here today, whom you may have misunderstandings with. If you quarrel with your spouse, but you starve your children to death, the people will not blame it on your disagreement. They will say you are cruel. All you need to do is to join your county or local government again. Contribute your ideas. And most importantly, draft in your name or do it anonymously. Dear financial warriors and friends of Bui County here present tonight, you are the pillars of our liberation quest. Make no mistake, Ambazonia will be liberated and free because you showed up week after week to contribute your liberation to this liberation cause. Consider Bui this night as a center or a central pillar of our resistance. But Bui is one of the smallest counties in terms of financial might. Yet the size of the work cut out for them is as big as Ambazonia. Let us all be goodwill ambassadors for Bui County in the diaspora, where many sons and daughters of this great county reside. Whenever you see them, maybe at a function or community gathering, challenge them to support this liberation war and remind them of the special place Bui County holds in the history of our resistance. Let them know that our collective survival depends on the outcome of this war. Explain to them that the enemy's gun does not distinguish between families of supporters and the families of non-supporters. So it makes no sense to say that one thing. Remind them that their people are being massacred daily, and it is our collective humanitarian responsibility to stop this evil machinery set to annihilate us by helping our able fighters to defend our people. $1,000 per year, another couple of hundreds in the presidential basket is minimum every Ambazonian can afford. And to you, my dear compatriots who are here tonight to draft or support Bui County, I say thank you for your consistent patriotic action on behalf of our forces. Your support means a lot to them. You have distinguished yourself as the real vanguards of this liberation struggle. You are the hope of our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters in the trenches facing an enemy, La République du Cameroon, whose psychotic nonagenarian dictator, Paul Biya, and his last diabolic ambition before he meets his master, the devil, is to exterminate a peace-loving people, the people of Ambazonia. You are here tonight to thwart that evil ambition. You are here tonight to proudly contribute towards the freedom of your people and the liberation of our homeland. You are here tonight to draft and reduce the sufferings of our refugees and IDPs. You are here tonight to support our valiant forces, the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. Thank you once more for showing up again. We will overcome. Let the draft for Bui County 2022 commence now. Viva the great warriors of Bui County. Viva our brave Ambazonia Restoration Forces. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And God bless our beautiful country.